never loved me, yeah.
Streets ain't never loved me since my brother died. My mother cried, tears in my eyes bleed red. Ain't no love inside. Streets left me dolly, my phone they left it holy. Dawn was in that passenger side when they tried to phone me.
Yeah, you know the streets ain't never love us.
Yeah. GD. I've been shot, I was left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. You know these streets ain't never loved me.
I've been stabbed, I've been left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. You know the streets ain't never loved me.
I've been locked, I got charged for some shit I didn't do, nigga. You know these streets ain't never loved me.
Caught a case, went upstate, fuck the Jakes, nigga. Yeah, you know these streets ain't never loved me.
Laying up in the hospital bed in ICU. Hit that button like every 3 hours to get those blues, yeah. Laying in the test of pain, I know shit won't be the same. Sipping my stomach, shit don't stop a thing, I'm still a man, yeah. But who gon' be there when you doing time? Can't get no money, so they dropping down, these niggas bitter. And I hope they get the picture. I'm only getting bigger. The top cat out my litter, yeah. Tell you they love you, but they hate you on the low. They hold you back, how they expect for you to grow. I got locked up, ain't said me nothing, but I'm your nigga. My body numb, I got no feelings for you niggas. I'm from what niggas will shoot you right here in these hallways. If you got trust in that loyalty goes a long way. These size 11s, these pussies can't walk a mile in. They hit my cousin with life and he's still smiling. I've been shot, I was left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. You know these streets ain't never loved me.
I've been stabbed, I've been left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. You know the streets ain't never loved me.
I've been locked, I got charged for some shit I didn't do, nigga. You know these streets ain't never loved me.
Caught a case, went upstate, fuck the Jakes, nigga. Yeah, you know these streets ain't never loved me. The streets ain't never loved me since my brother died. My mother cried, tears in my eyes bleed red. Ain't no love inside. Streets left me dolly, my foreign they left it holy. Dawn was in that passenger seat when they tried to fold me. Remind me of my gun, that was real shit, this real spit. Rocks I was selling was smacking them, call it Will Smith. I ain't never told and never folded under pressure. Get him Neek was in that ambulance with me, he was on that stretcher. Niggas tried to take my life, I couldn't tell you who. Many men might not make it, I'm here to tell the truth. Me and Job, that's my brother, you know we moving tight. Brown boys fuck with the family and I'ma get them that. This my testimony, solid, all the rest is phony. Merrick niggas come at the fam and send your best opponent. I was stabbed, I was left with a zipper on my stomach, nigga. I know the streets ain't never loved me. He was shot, he was left with a zipper on his stomach, nigga. You know the streets ain't never loved us. Gang, Merrick shit, it's how we music, nigga.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Forgive me for starting a little late. Remember, I said it's going to be 7 or 8 o'clock. But earlier, I got to tell the truth. I got to tell the truth, and we're going to be real. That little old man nap turned into a longer nap than I thought. But I'm up now. Shout out to Frank. Boy, I even missed a call from Frank. I was knocked out, y'all. Running around, doing nothing but sleeping because I was exhausted from this week's work experience that I had been put through. Because like they said, shout out to my man FTC Vice. He said, when you go to work, the only thing that you are doing is exchanging your time, your personal hard-earned time for money. And we're going to give some people some more time to come up in here. If y'all can hear me crystal clear, anybody but a dead body, do me a favor, put the dice cubes in the chat. I didn't even know I was asleep. But I'm up. And I think I have a great show for y'all lined up. Waiting for Frank Boo to pop up. When I drop the link today, y'all, the link will only be dropped for the great Frank Boo himself. If y'all have any questions or anything like that, and he decides that he want me to drop the link for y'all can pull up and ask him some personal questions, we are with it. But the first time I dropped the link, I want everybody to understand that the link is for the great Frankie Boo. Angie, baby, is in the building. Shout out to Chip and them. Are you locked in? That's a fact. That's the movement. Hashtag are you locked in? Make sure y'all get that and go over there and subscribe. Great movement they got going on. Great movement they got going on. Like I said, I'm going to give Frank a few moments to pop up in the building. And then we're going to give some time for some people to pop up in the building. And then we're going to get to this great conversation. Some people say interviews. I don't believe in interviews. I don't do interviews. I believe in great conversations. I think interviews are a little too intrusive at times. There's certain things that are asked by people that are interviewing people. To me, it's just outlandish questions, disturb controversy, and I stay away from the controversy. You dig what I'm saying? I like to keep it 100% official, and that's how I like to do it. And while we waiting on Frank Boo, shout out to Jaffe. He told me to play this one. He got a new one out called Never. He went crazy on this one, too. This is his conference performance. Tell me how y'all like it. Jaffe is ready. Stay free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Man, woman, and children. Sun, moon, and stars. Everything exists has to coexist within. Like I said, another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me? Shout out to everybody in the building. Big Dice is here. Just got off the phone, Frank Boo. He just found out that his family had a little promotion going on for him. That don't mean nothing. He said he about to get in the whip, hit the link. When he get in the building, he gonna hit the link and pop up and let y'all know what's going on. And then if he wants to continue this, because he said he got a promotion going on, that's probably what he was calling me for earlier. I was asleep. We'll just do it either tomorrow or we'll do it another time. But he gonna come up here and bless the stage right quick for the people that's pulled in right quick and see what's going on, because he said he got the family with him. They just snatched him up for a promotional gig. He out here getting his money, getting to his bag. And of course, we're gonna still have a great show. Of course, we're gonna still have a great show. Let me make sure Chip get his gun. I forgot I ain't put the gun on him. Gotta put the gun in him. Gotta get him the gun. Gotta get him with the gun. Lady JJ, I see you in the building, sister. Appreciate you. That's a fact. That's a fact. We got an original show locked up for the great Frank Boo. Locked in for the great Frank Boo. I just got off the phone. He hit me earlier. Maybe that's what he was calling me to tell me. I had overslept. I'm not gonna front y'all. Sometimes them naps just get a little too good. You know what I'm saying? And when he pop into the chat, he gonna let me know that he's actually riding to the event. And we're gonna get a quick summary on what's gonna go on. And then we'll find out exactly when we're gonna do the in-depth, stronger, longer conversation. But we still got a great show lined up. Appreciate everybody pulling up in the building. Yeah, they broke me down this week at work. Just Eric, I see you in the building. Yeah, they had one of them. It was one of them weeks at work. But you know. And shout out to Angie. And shout out to Miss Pam. I dropped the short. I dropped the short. Shout out to you, Chip. He said Dyson FB. He said, let's go 2 L's high. 2 L's sky high. Are you locked in? Appreciate that super chat. Angie said, I napped all day too. You know what I'm saying? She said, shit, my head was hurt. I ain't gonna tell you, I was high. I was smoking that ooh-wee. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't had no headache or nothing like that. I had that ooh-wee. I had that headache all right. But it wasn't that bad headache. I'm talking about I had that, whew. cheesecake, that New York cheesecake from Sprinkles is something delicious. I'm not gonna tell y'all no lies. It's something delicious, you know. Made me sleep pretty well, you know what I'm saying? 34% THC, you know, something real impressive if you ask me. And that's what made me go over a little bit. GP, salute. I see you pulled up in the building. But I'm gonna keep it funky. I think I was a little tired. You know, sometimes you don't even know when you're tired. You don't even know when you're tired, but your ass is tired. You don't even know when you're tired, but your ass is tired. Shit, I ain't even know I had slept that long. But then again, it's raining down here. It's a little chilly down here in the south. Dog Soldier, I see you in the building. I don't know what's going on with this weather. One day it's 80 degrees. One day it's 90 degrees. We had a little bit of rain this week. We had some rain yesterday. We had some rain earlier. So the weather is going in and out. Just that pneumonia weather, especially down here. But shout out to my childhood friend and my comrade. This is one that we got to do correctly. But he said he wanted some people to understand his story. Great, great, great story. Great story of elevation. Great, 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 great story of evolvement. You know what I'm saying? Angie said it's same in Boston. It's chilly and it's rainy. Yeah, we got that crazy. I don't know what's going on with this weather because, you know, it's supposed to be. And then I was talking about, we was at the job talking about April 1st. How it's supposed to be a big game or whatever like that. Because a lot of people don't know that April 1st is actually supposed to be the first day of the new year. That's why it's been this April 1st for the whole year. Like it's a joke. Like they make, like you said, on April 1st, people play pranks. They play jokes, things that are not true. That's why that's always been called April Fool's Day. That's why April 1st has always been called April Fool's Day, because allegedly they got us thinking that the first day of the year is in January. But actually the first day of the year is in April. You can do your history on it if you want to. We ain't going to that today. You can do your history on that if you want to. We ain't going into that today. I'm just trying to tell you the honest to God truth. That's why for all these years it's been called April Fool's Day. Shout out to Angie. She said, new year and new jobs. Ha, 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 ha. For real. But like I said, shout out to the comrade, childhood friend. I've been there for some movies. Like I told y'all, it was one story. I can't wait to get up here to talk to him about it. I'm just going to give y'all a part of the story. I walked out of the Carvel ice cream on Eastern Parkway one day with my mother. With my mother into mass hysteria that allegedly was caused by the special guest. You dig what I'm saying? Mr. Frank Boo. Like I said, the craziest part, how the world depicts some of the people that I know, some of my friends, how the world depict them, and for what we saw with them, it's totally different. Now in the hood, you know which one of our friends are the ones that's the, like they say, would set it off, who will pop off. Frankie Boo is definitely one of them. That's a fact. Like, you know how they say some ones that are pop off, then they got some ones that are run through the door after they pop off, then they got et cetera, the ones that are sitting in the back when you run through the door, and the one is, but he is one of the pioneers I'm talking about that really set off that low life movement, that really was a part of that foundation that has evolved to this day to everything. And shout out to the low lives, because like I said, whoo, shout out to Ralphie's kids. Like I said, that whole movement is incredible. Like I said, that G. George shit, shout out to my nigga G. George. Like, these are things that I don't think we'd have fathomed to imagine when we were children. These are things that I don't think the lowlifes fathomed to imagine when they was children, because they was just surviving. But I don't think that they understood how impactful they was going to be to our culture and culture across the world. It's lowlifes in Mexico. It's lowlifes in Japan. It's lowlifes in Europe. It's lowlifes in Germany. It's lowlifes all over the United States. Even Kanye West even acknowledged the lowlives of Brooklyn for their impact on the culture. Shit, even Slick Rick, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning of the show with Dougie Fresh, when he's like, this is all facts. FTC, I see you in the building. Bismarck, I mean, it's not too many people that can say. It was somebody on the gram that said that the low life wave started in DC. Shout out to the brother. Shout out to the brother. But I had to let him know that's far from the truth, y'all. Big 90, I see you in the building. Salute. That shit is far from the truth. I'm going to keep it funky with y'all. That's Wax? Yeah, that's Wax. I forgot Wax got a new page. That's why he ain't gunned up. He got a new page. Wax, salute. That from any, I don't know about y'all, but for me, you dig what I'm saying? And shout out to the sister lady JJ. She said, if any of y'all would like to support us channel, super stackers, super chats, memberships are available. All you got to do is spend that bread and hit that like button. Grown folks conversation. You dig what I'm saying? Tyson said, an impact for thieves they brought to the table, laughing my ass off. This is the nonsense we condone, nasty work. Now, Tyson, you know I gotta respect your opinion. I'm not gonna say nothing about your opinion, but let me tell you another side of the story. There's always the head of the tail, the head of the coin, and the tail of the coin. See, what the low-life movement, that had nothing to do with what you just said. I can't get mad at you because you don't know the history of these individuals. I cannot get mad at that. People got their opinions of what they think certain things came from, but that low life, that love and loyalty shit, that if my brother needed, he got it, I got it, he love, money, holes, and clothes. No. See, that came from people that really wanted more than we were given. It's just like DCEP. It's people that, it's a group of individuals that decided they was going to come together with solidarity and decide to take what was theirs. First of all, the world was built on the same thing that a lot of us has used to capitalize to get better with finances. This is a fact. Salute to the sis. And the lowlifes that I know got some of the biggest hearts in the world. See, a lot of the things that they don't talk about, shout out to Chip Lowe. Chip, even though I knew certain things, Chip, he just blew my mind. They're giving fund drives, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that like people may say they took. Shaq Gravy, I see you. A lot of things they may say that they took, but look what they're doing, they're giving back. Food drives, clothes drives, making sure kids is all right. Fundraising shit, you know, like certain shit, like he said, you can't get these sponsorships and these connections just by saying what you're doing. You got to go through a lot of extensive paperwork, scrutiny. So to come from, like, people deem them as a group of kids that were known as shoplifters. Pay attention. Shoplifting was a hobby way before the lowlifes, before the Two Gold Front posse even existed. Pay attention. There was shoplifters and jostlers way before lowlife ever formed. Paco G's, I see you. Now to everybody in the building, let's be fair. Rest in peace to my nigga $500,000. He always told me this. I've said this on numerous shows. If you are hungry, do you think your stomach is gonna wait for you? You think your stomach is gonna say, you know what? I'm not gonna give you these pains from hunger. I'm not going to hurt your stomach like that because we didn't eat in a day or we didn't eat in 2 days. Let me explain something to you. Your stomach is never going to wait to be fed. Shout out to my guy Chip. He said, Tyson, let me explain something to you quickly. Those thieves paved the way for us, for what you know is hip hop today, facts. He said, even them rappers idolized us. Facts. We got non-profit setups. Now we can take care of the kings and queens inside of the belly of the beast. These is facts. A1 the boss, I see you in the building. He said, are you saying that hip-hop was created from boosting? But I know boosting was a great part of the hip-hop culture. I can answer that question. If you go back to people like Grand Poobah. Let's talk about our era. With the Benetton bags and the Tommy Hilfiger jackets. Then we can talk about the Raekwons with the infamous Snow Beach collections that are back right now that's going crazy. Then we can talk about Kanye West with the regular horses, with the pinstripes. You know what I'm saying? It's so many entertainers that put this stuff on. Pay attention. Shout out to Young Dro from T.I. and them. Shout out to Young Dro and T.I. and them. He's a low-life ambassador now. He said, stop it, Dice. Folks was talking about money and hoes, but couldn't put food on the table. He said, get the fuck out of here. That's nasty works when folks didn't push back. Pay attention. They've always pushed back. They've even pushed back when they didn't know they was pushing back. See, back in the days, people fail to realize. Rose Gold, I see you. People fail to realize. When we was outside in the street, I know this may be fucked up because we was part of some fucked up ways and traps that they set us up for survival. And we're going to start with hustling. We're going to start with the whole aspect of hustling. Hold on right quick, y'all. My fault. I ain't even dropped the link for Frank Boo. Pardon me, y'all. But when they came up, matter of fact, he could tell you a little more. He could tell you a little more. Tripping them could tell you a little more. It wasn't, like I said, like you said, it was money and clothes and stuff like that in the street. But when they put it together, it was money, hoes, and clothes. Like I said, it was shoplifting way before low lives. Way before low lives. Way before low lives. And shout out to my guy, El Plaga. If y'all didn't see the new character he created, the new logo he created, fire. If you see it in the thing, fire. I'm talking about it's fire. He said, low lives made crazy bread. What investments? All legendary story to tell. Chip is here right now. Chip was waiting for this one.
What's good, Dave?
Oh, baby.
Listen, I know y'all in my element now. Let me step aside for a second.
Talk your talk.
Salute to the chat, man. Salute to everybody. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. You know, FB. That's one of the ones that like you said, definitely helped pave the way from our end.
Right.
A lot of us see, a lot of people just think of it as boosting. Look at it as, you know, when you're in a community and your fellow neighbor, who you consider your cousin or your brother, you know, didn't have a meal to eat that night. You know, going out there and taking money to the point where we was able to, you know, feed our siblings and feed ourselves. Because, you know, a lot of our parents were single parents at the time, and, you know, they really couldn't make ends meet on their own. So a lot of us helped keep the lights on, helped, you know, made sure the cable bill was paid. And was, you know, it was so crazy that the culture and little band of petty thieves that they used to call us, all of the rappers, like them videos, a lot of them, they got their clothing from us. This is a fact. You could go back, you could you can name your best rappers, and I guarantee you they shout out the boosters. Them boosters is us. This is a fact. No matter I don't care who you name your top 5 rappers, they're gonna shout out the boosters.
That's right.
Back in them days, in them videos and so on and so forth, you'll see us, a lot of us in the pictures in the background, chilling. You know what I mean? Remember, we was in an era where we didn't like to take pictures. We didn't like to be in the forefront. That was called, you know, to idolize the stuff we was doing at that time. But again, you know, history has a way of revealing itself. You know, a lot of us at that time were teenagers.
That's right.
You know, please just think about it. A group of teenagers, right, that go to places like, we went to Canada to go catch them flipper ski vests. You know, we was traveling. You know, FB, Boostin' Billy, you know, Dollar they were the ones that pioneered us going out of state and really getting to the bag. We shut down major department stores. The store is no longer in existence. This is a fact. And I'm not saying this to glorify it. I'm saying this to show that when you're in desperate mode, when you're in survival mode, you're gonna do what you gotta do to make sure that your family eat. Now, let me show you the repercussions behind that. A lot of us lost a lot of time. A lot of us was in the belly of the beast. You know, went away to school, like I call it, for years. But now we came home, and now we got a system in place that people ain't got to go that route. Now, FB home now. He could tell you, like, when he came home, it's no turning back to what we used to do.
Yo,
FB in the building.
shake it.
Listen, I just came over to man, appreciate you. I'm gonna make sure that
I can hear y'all crystal clear now.
yeah, I'll link up with you on IG and get to the Chip Low interview.
Let's do it. We're in conversation with Chip. We need that. What are you talking about? We need that.
Yo, FB, do your thing, fam. I got you. I'm gonna be in the chat. You're ready.
Yo, hold on. Yo, I guess it's my honor, man. We got my childhood friend and comrade. FB is in the building, man, and he has some things he was taking care of, and he still made the time to pull up. Yo, F, tell him who you are, man. You might be on mute, bro. No, he ain't on mute. Maybe somewhere he at. FB, you here? Russian Princess, I see you in the building. Give my guy a few seconds. He having technical difficulties. It might be because he was driving and he was in the car. Yo, F, drop out and come right back. It might be something with your connection because you're riding. Yep. Oh, my man working on his technical difficulties. Get it quick, right quick. Shout out the waiter. While my man getting his technical difficulties, y'all. Let's go.
Pretty little baby, hot 97 heavy it is. You know when it goes down, hot 16. How are you listening, baby? Yo, Quando. Wait on. I told my dog might have an alibi. Yeah. In the beginning, dad, life is hard, y'all. I mean, for my big one. All night in the vegan, I ain't never cried. Elvira, nigga. I wish when I called that I had to die. Me in the streets, we had a conversation. Being broke was the motivation. They said they love me, but they really hate it. Me in the streets had a conversation. Me in the streets, we had a conversation. Being broke was the motivation. They said they love me, but they really hate it. Me in the streets had a conversation. I got a ball and went and found a block. God gave me a pill, Satan gave me a Glock. I met her once, she gave me the top. Of your life, you want it or not. Being broke was the motivation. Go through all the pain and the couldn't make. I told Satan, suck a dick, I went and lost my faith in it. I was taught if you want it, then go and take it. I got seeds worth the minds and I got enemies. In other words, obstinate, gotta bleed. I Glock 9, a real.
Rainbow, you hear me? You can hear me, beloved? Because you got another one open too. FB. We can hear partially something, but we don't hear the call. Hold on, let me see. Let me take this off. Hello? Which one can you hear me on? There you go, boom. Be good. Yep. Appreciate Chip for pulling up here, giving that history. And yes, we're going to set that up, that conversation with Chip Low. We definitely going to go into depth because this is what you need. People to really, really talk about the misconceptions people have about a lot of things. And who only to hear from but the horse's mouths. You know what I'm saying? Don't never let the world describe something that you can hear from the horse's mouth. Yo, Frank, what up with your audio? Got to be something up with his phone. Got to be because he's traveling, y'all. Appreciate him for coming up in the building, too. Hold on, I'm going to give him the... Yo. Crystal clear. You crystal clear. Peace.
Yo.
Crystal clear. We can hear you.
Yo.
We can hear you. You can hear us? You can hear me? We can hear you crystal clear. That one we can hear you crystal clear. Yeah, because you got two of them open up here. You got two of them open, Frank. And shout out to Miss Angie Baby in the building, Miss Precious. You hear me? Pardon us, y'all. We all had these problems, these technical new phones and all that. I think he might have two apps open because I see another one open down here. Nah, we can't hear him. We can't hear you, dog. We can't hear you, boo. Nah, we can't hear him. You might have to go completely out, cut them out, and come right back in, or drop the link again for you, Frank. Drop them out. Drop you out, go out, and come completely back in. Shout out to Frank Boo. I just dropped the link again. Yeah, this is something special. Like I said, this is something special. He just dropped now. Yeah, the link is dropped, Boo. Just pull right back out. Just eliminated them off your phone and hit that link and pull. Matter of fact, when you first come in, make sure you hit the where they can hear you at. The microphone adjust. Make sure you hit that. You good. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Appreciate y'all for y'all patience. Great conversation. Shout out to Chip for pulling up and letting people know, because like I said, that's not the only person that has that description of my friends. And who's better to tell you their truth except the people that they're speaking about? So we definitely gonna load up their conversations with Chip. I don't do interviews. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't do interviews. I'd rather have conversations with friends of mine or people's associates of mine that I know. Because like I said, sometimes I've noticed the interview game, this is not just on YouTube. This is with Walter Cronkite. Shit, you see what happened with R. Kelly when he was up there with, what's her name? Oprah Winfrey friend? Gail. See, when somebody's interviewing you, they can ask you an intrusive question. An intrusive question that can incriminate you in so many ways. Your life, your freedom. Nah, I don't do interviews. That's too intrusive, but I will have a conversation with you, because a conversation to me is better, because when you feel comfortable talking to somebody, or something you're talking to somebody about can make you reminisce or go back to a good situation or a bad situation or a monumental situation in your life, that's different. I don't be getting into people's shit. Facts, Chip. Frank Boo into the building. Yo.
Yo.
Crystal clear, you hear me?
Shaking, boy.
It's you, my guy, it's you.
Nah, it sucks.
Word up. We got Frank Boo in the building, y'all. If y'all don't know, he here now. And I appreciate you for calling me earlier, man. That long, old school nap, you know. That work is something serious, you know what I'm saying? Tell these people something good about yourself. Let them know who you are, bro. I know you said you and the family was going to a promotion. So I know you got some time to run around with us, but we can definitely do it another time. But some of the people in here was definitely coming up to hear what you had to say, bro.
Nah, it's all good. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I'm out of the function, you heard? Yo. Here in the flesh, by the grace of Allah. You already know what it is.
You're a little low. You was like a little away from your mic.
Hold up.
Peto, I see you. We heard you was a little low. Crystal clear.
Hear me better?
If y'all don't know who Frank Boo is, man, it's one of my childhood friends, one of the cats I grew up admiring, one of the ones that was, I could really say, helped us move around safely. There's a couple of times I called his name, and niggas was like, oh, you know him? So safe passages on his name, but he's home. He's one of the comrades that I swear to God we had lost. I'm so glad that Allah decided to give him a way to come back out here and get to the people. And I'm honored that he's here. Like I said, I'd rather let y'all hear from people that really, really was there, because this is one of the founders of the Low Lifes, one of the ones that I know I watched and idolized coming up. Shout out to Big Boo, the Watchtower, and everybody else, you know. Frank Boo, tell them a little something about yourself, man.
Well, you know what I mean? I don't really do too much talking about self, you dig what I'm saying? You know, I ain't really a self-proclaimer. You know what I mean? I let other people, you know me, speak on, you know, what it is that they know about me, you dig what I'm saying? So therefore, a person don't think that I'm embellishing or fabricating, you know what I mean, or over-exaggerating, you dig? So with that being said, you know what I'm saying, I'm just here, man, by the grace of Allah, word, man. You know what I mean? But salutes to you, kid.
It's your world, bro. I'm glad you're out here to tell your story, man, because somebody gonna listen, somebody gonna pay attention. Talk to us about coming up in our neighborhood in Brooklyn, because we all come from great families and mothers and fathers that didn't want us to walk certain paths. But tell people what made you decide to embellish the character that you turned into as opposed to now.
First and foremost, man, poverty. You know what I mean? Poverty, I think poverty was the cause for a lot of us to, you know, poverty and a dream, man. You know what I mean? That dream that, you know what I'm saying, that we believed in to get to that picket fence, you know what I'm saying? Although there was no picket fences in the hood, you know what I mean? But poverty really, you know what I'm saying, you know, was the reason behind, you know, us going that extra mile to do what it is that we needed to do to get up out of them, you know what I mean, holy shirts or holy sneakers or hand-me-down jeans that we had to wear from our second or third cousins and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? So, you know, if I had to use a singular word, it would be poverty.
Mm. Mm. Poverty, y'all heard that? Poverty. Poverty is what infuses and rages a lot of us that have been outside to go in them streets, especially to these kids right now today. But you ain't have to do that though, Frank. You ain't have to do that. You ain't have to do that. What was the allure? What was the real allure? Because like I know of your parents, just like my parents, that stayed on your back. But what was the real allure that made you decide to just say, I'm gonna take the ass whippings, I'm gonna take the scuffles, I'm gonna take the possible incarcerations, the possible deaths? What made you just say you was gonna go into it full-fledged as you did? Because I know this personally, but tell the world.
I mean, yo, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, poverty was it, you know what I mean? Regardless of having a mother and a father in the household, you dig what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have the best of things in our household. So, you know, poverty was like me saying, yo, man, listen, man, I'm after seeing what I mean outside of my household, you know what I mean, the individuals that, you know what I'm saying, you know, I looked up to, you know what I'm saying, the G's before me and before them, it was like, nah, I'm not really trying to just live off of what it was that my father or my mother had to. So yeah, you know, I you know what I'm saying, my eyes was open to the things that, you know, my peers in the hood was doing. So it was like, you know, it was like an easy decision for me at that time, because it was like, yo, kid, I don't just want to be average. I don't want to be the dude going to school, you know what I mean,
Mm.
with the holy sneakers or the holy shoes. I want to be the that's getting smacked up on or picked on by, you know what I'm saying, dudes whose family may have had it to a degree greater than what my family had it. So, you know, it was like, I'm a dude, you know what I'm saying, better for, you know what I'm saying, my siblings, you know what I mean, or, you know, my mom's, you know what I mean, in that situation, you know what I mean, I got a West Indian pop, so, you know, his pride was in the way when it came to certain things, because he, you know, he was a man, he was a strong man, and he felt like, you know, if he wasn't providing, then you dig what I'm saying, you know, it made him less than a man. And then to see his son coming in with $100 shirts and, you know what I mean, all kind of sweatsuits and so forth and so on, and like my mom's kind of like, you know, catered to me more than she was catering to her own, you know what I'm saying, significant other. You know, I see now how that, you know what I'm saying, caused a strain in my family, you know what I'm saying, and you know, ultimately, you know what I'm saying, caused my pops to, know what I'm saying, break out, you heard?
Mm. And the reason why I said that is because they always say it's because it's not two parents in a household. But like I always tell people, as opposed to our neighborhoods and our in-house problems, we'll have two parents in the household. But unfortunately, because of addictions or the streets or depression, because that's something that's overlooked when it comes to men. Like Frank said, the whole mindset of if I'm not physically contributing
Yo,
financially. Go ahead, Frank.
yo, forgive me. You hear me?
I'm hearing you. They listening.
Yo,
We listening.
Should have stayed still.
Tyson said it's crazy. Men can't be vulnerable for a minute. Everything has to be a super thug, especially in our neighborhood. You're 100% right, Tyson. My man, he going through, like he driving, so y'all hear him. He'll come back in a second. He back. You back, Frank?
yo.
I can hear you. We can hear you. You're a little low, but we can hear you.
You heard, like, I'm in the, you hear me? All right, yo, forgive me, you dig what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
You
I'm
good.
definitely driving, so, you know what I mean? Yeah, you already know what it is, homie.
You said you had the little promotion thing going through. I was just letting people know because you pulled up. Because I said, when he called me earlier, y'all, I had overslept.
What?
I told him I had overslept. And when I finally spoke to you, you
Hold
said
on,
you was
hold
on a
on.
promotion thing with the family, but he still was going to take his time to pull up. Oh, it's just the beginning, y'all. It's just the beginning because this is a conversation that has to be had.
Yeah, I'm definitely, you know what I'm saying, doing everything on a, the politically correct, inside of the politically correct arena. So, I just, wind up getting a promotion, you know what I'm saying, in the arena that I'm in the job that I'm at, you know what I mean? So, the
As
family
you
just
should.
wanted to celebrate, you know what I'm saying, me celebrating me doing, you know what I'm saying, what they never thought I would do, being the type of individual that I once was. So yeah, it's a good thing, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm just thankful that man, Allah has not only blessed me but guided me to, you know what I'm saying, a different light in life. You heard?
That's right, bro. And that's a beautiful thing. Next, you got me smiling. Like Chip said, congratulations that you deserve it. Because, like with my job, certain things that I never would have expected that I would be acknowledged for, I've got acknowledged for. So I know that feeling, man. Congratulations. That's a fact, as opposed to doing dumb shit in the street, throwing rocks at the penitentiary, like the old timer said. It's just going to work every day and just doing your fucking job. You heard me?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just, yo, bro. I'm just a realist, homie, in the purest form. So, I don't knock nothing. I don't knock nothing that has transpired in my life because everything in my life has ultimately made me into the individual that I am.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? And so with that being not only said but done, I just give all praise to the Most High because at the end of the day, what He's seen in me, or what He, gave to me, was something that, what I'm saying, I can't even begin to describe or, bring clarity to. All I can do is say thank you, you dig? Because, in my most desolate times, He carried me. You dig what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
regardless of
Footprints.
the individual that I was, because He fortified me and made me into a warrior, or created me to be a warrior, it was Him that carried me through a lot of the situations, circumstances, environments that I went through. You heard?
Cassandra, I appreciate you, sis. Yo, that's a definite blessing. I'm just listening because the involvement and when you just said you got a promotion, it just made me think about certain things that was introduced to me. And I had the option to say, you know what, yay or nay. But just to be considered amongst a whole other group of individuals, it's like a rewarding feeling that I felt as though the only way you can get that type of acknowledgement was in the street. So thank God and Allah for everything that it's came to fruition. Because damn, man. We're going to get into it, man. Like I said, I know you're going out with the family and all that. But we're going
Nah,
to get
like
you
I
back up
said,
here.
I'm done, bro. It's on us. We doing us right now. You know what I mean? That situation is over. So I tapped in when I could, when it was all over. You know what I mean? So we here now. It's
That's
you and
right.
me. It's you and me. Dig?
That's
So you
right.
know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Yeah. I ain't on nothing. Let's go. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you something. Tell some
So,
of the trials and tribulations that you went through that made you come to this. Because shout out to you for having, shout out to you, shout out to Uncle Nip, shout out to Chip Low, shout out to Rap, but shout out to you for having Vertical Talk. Because Angie, make sure you pop that link in the chat for Vertical Talk, because I would have never expected to see individuals like you, the Fruits, the Vibes on YouTube, but especially with such a positive impact, because I don't think you really understand, I don't suck cock or nothing, but I don't think you really understand the impact that you made and the impression that you made on so many people in the neighborhood, including me as one of them, because of the way you held it always down and 10 toes down, because it was only a few in our neighborhoods of our age that was known for certain things. And I was laughing because I told a chat one time, I said, yo, my mom's, we was on St. John's in Utica. Never forget this. Never forget this. If I'm lying, you tell me right now. Me and my mother coming out of Carvel on St. John's in Utica. And it's a mass hysteria. Everybody running around hollering and screaming. So, my mom's standing there, whatever like that. So later on during the day, your name, they said the great Frank Boo put a movie on a bus out there. My mother said, how come? Because LeVon, my Uncle Ice was talking about it. My mother said, how come all y'all friends and the people that y'all know are always doing something that could make them end up in jail? Because I remember, if I'm 13, how old are you, Frank? Well, I'm 52. How old are you?
54.
So that's 2 years. So I'm 13 and you 15, and you're involved in certain things that a lot of grown-ups didn't even have the heart to do. So to see you here now with this whole demeanor, the calmness, the enjoyment of freedom, because unfortunately, I remember back in the days when all of y'all was getting jammed up for boosting or whatever like that, to us, that was like an honor. It was like, yo, they'll be home in a minute. They'll be home in a minute, because when y'all was going to the islands and the up norths and so forth, the tenacity that y'all showed in the hood was going to amplify in prison. But to see you home now, and the same tenacity that you put into the street, you're putting into bettering yourself. I'm just gonna give you your flowers, bro. You deserve that shit, bro. You really, really deserve to be happy, because a lot of us in the street have went through situations, especially heartbreak, that a lot of us felt as though we didn't deserve it. So you deserve everything you are receiving. That's Allah's blessing for you, man. He already wrote it for you. And you gotta embellish. You gotta accept that, man. And I'm happy for you, man. I mean that sincerely, bro. OG salute. Rich salute. We got Frank Boo up in the building, man.
Salutes to the chat, man. Salutes to everybody that, gave me the honor, to be here. But yo, to go to your question, bro, like, life again, I've said this over again, man, on my platform, man, on Super Track. Life is a succession of lessons that gotta be lived thoroughly by the majority of us in order to be understood, man. And not only understood, but respected, you dig,
That's
and
right.
appreciated. Because you dig, like, there's no question that in my early ages, especially at the age that you mentioned, when I was 15 and you was 13, like, I didn't care about life. You dig? Like, so I didn't care about nobody else's life. All I cared about was getting to that bag and doing whatever I had to do to make sure that, because I was a street individual at that time, or that's what my driving force was was a street individual. I wanted to be one of the best street individuals. So it wasn't about imitating, it was about emulating those that came before me, those that I seen in the streets doing the things that, I didn't even consciously even comprehend the ramifications or consequences of. It was just like, yo, if he did that, then when I do it, I'm gonna do it 2 or 3 times better. You dig? Or more heinous or more callous, and so forth and so on, bro. And looking back now, it was asinine. You dig? But it goes back to me saying that all glory goes to the Most High, because in those times of ignorance, in those times of foolishness, He carried me and He preserved me. You dig? So when I believe that, when looking back, I should have already been pushing up flowers as opposed to still being on this side of the earth able to give flowers, that's a big thing. You dig what I'm saying? So I count my
That's right.
blessings heartily, King.
That's right. That's a cold-blooded fact. Damn. Damn. And you just expressed that to the deepest degree. Like the people that you emulated, you decided that you wanted to lay it down more. And that's, like I said, like the ramifications. Like you said, you didn't care about the ramifications. You went through some situations, unfortunately, pertaining to incarceration in a big situation. We ain't got to get into none of that. You beat it. So do you wish you could, would you have changed anything? Like, would you have changed anything? Just because, see, now that you've seen the outcome, like you said, we spoke the other day about the this and that, and once we felt as though we got the jury and we got the validation of certain things, because the enemy or the inner us is usually, they say, what destroys us. But would you change anything? Would you go through anything different? If so, what would you go through different? And to the people that might be at that crossroad, because this world, this shit is fucked up right now, especially economically. Money is, people don't really want to deal with the truth. Niggas ain't trying to starve, bro. Niggas is not trying to fucking starve, bro. And I've done it. So to live paycheck to paycheck, sometimes that could push you to another level, especially when you come from a degree of taking risks. What would you tell anybody now? Like, would you switch up anything? Like, what would you tell them, man? He driving, y'all. Respect it. He'll be right back, in and out, in and out. Shout out to Rich and everybody that's pulling up in the building. Everybody that's in the building. Appreciate y'all, man. Grown folks conversation over here. Y'all know how we do it. Chip said, free Boom, free Panther, free Buffalo. Shout out to Buff, man. You wouldn't even know, small world. I got to tell you about that one off the air. Boy, I tell you one about Buff. And Buff had surgery on his eye too, Chip. That's a fact. Shout out. I was just talking to somebody. Matter of fact, I was just talking to Buff Baby Moms. Buff Baby Moms is literally, it's a small world, man. It's just, Chip is a small fucking world, man. OG Bobby Johnson, I see you in the building. Shout out, we got Frank Boy up here in the building telling some of the experiences and the things that changed his life and the blessings that he is so happy to receive right now. He driving, so his audio is going in and out. Like I said, it's an honor to have one of my comrades up in here. It's a difference. I don't be running around just looking to be around certain individuals. He dropped, so he'll probably be back. I'm going to drop the link just for him. Like I said, shout out to everybody. It's a small world. Shout out to Chip Low too, man. Like I said, YouTube has a way of just, and I'm so glad that the great people that are connections, like it's not what you know, like they say, it's who you know. I'm so glad that I am in a circumference and a gathering of individuals that may know individuals and individuals that may know individuals, that even if individuals don't per se know each other individually, we know individuals that can stand up for each other as individuals. So individually, we all stand together morally. So shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things just should just really be appreciated, especially if you just tired. Me, I'm like my mom. I never understood what the old timers said when they said, man, I told my man that shit the other day, I'm just tired. And so what you talking about, Dallas? I'm just tired. Like certain shit, if it ain't for the betterment of everything around yourself, get away from it. And shout out to Frank Boo. He might pop back up, like I said, because he's going out to enjoy himself. If he don't, that's just the beginning. That's the first one. That's just the first part of this conversation, because it's some things I need him to express to y'all, and it's some things that I need him to express to myself, because he's one of the ones that we grew up admiring. Like he was one of the first ones, like just really, 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 really a part of a certain movement. And I'm so glad I witnessed and participated and lived through that era. I'm so glad I'm still here, 52 years old. I'm glad I got an American Association for Retired People's card. I'm dead serious. That's a fact. Rose, that's why I'm so, my family told me I'm just a stubborn old man. And in my heart, I'm still 18, 19 years old, but I ain't no 18, 19 years old. I'm 52 years old. That's a fact. And I accept it, and I love it, and I still got a great percentage of my fucking brain and my mental. I know we got people our age and younger that are no longer here. They're standing right here physically, but mentally, they are no longer here. And Frank Booth said, carried me. Y'all, anybody that's been following me from day one, I've always told y'all that Footprints is my favorite passage because of the story of the man that went to the beach when he had everything that he needed, and he would walk on the beach and see two sets of footprints because he said that's when God walked with him. He said when he lost everything, when he lost all the values, all the things that thought made him of importance, he went back to the beach. He said, but when he walked this time on the beach, he only seen one set of footprints. So the man said, quote unquote, he felt as though that God had abandoned him. The man is at the beach looking up at the sky, cursing at God. This is real facts. The man is at the beach cursing at God, and then God laughed at the man. Because the man looked at God and said, yo, you're just like everybody else. You was only around when I had the money and the fame and the power. And then God said, what makes you think that? And the man said, well, every time I come to the beach now, it's only one set of footprints. And then God looked at the man and laughed. He said, the only reason why you see one set of footprints, my son, is because I know you direly needed me and I'm carrying you.
You can't play both sides, you niggas gotta choose. Niggas out here being tough until they make the news. Mama said her son ain't hurt nobody. The street said her son was catching plenty bodies. If you accept these charges, then please hold. In every hood, it was a nigga that was tough, and he still told. Like, what I gotta do to make you niggas rhyme? Like, I'm ready to kill when the kind of minds be cautious. I'm dealing with more sticks than a porcupine. Quill spines, whatever you wanna call them. Yeah, plus my little mama, she a trap queen. Doggy when she mixed with that Fetty, give him a wop lean. It was a whole lot of cars when there was stimmies round. We going over a year and half you niggas down. All these expensive clothes like was that smart? Now they uploading they clothes on the Poshmark. Switch baby, careful with this. I mean this bitch sharp. One across, one down the middle, look like a chrome heart. Damn, I'm always outside, I'm like high from who? Bound to put your car on skates, you think you sliding through. I help build my niggas, this ain't Legos. Protect the fan by any means, I be Diego. Yeah, tiger to you niggas, I'm an animal. It's a jungle where I'm from, what y'all wanna do? You can't play both sides, you niggas gotta choose. Niggas out here being tough until they make the news. Mama said her son ain't hurt nobody. The street said her son was catching plenty bodies. If you accept these charges, then please hold. In every hood, it was a nigga that was tough, but he still told.
Hey, money.
You got Frank Boo in the building, he back.
Yo.
We hear you crystal clear.
Yeah, bro. My bad, homie. I don't know what it is.
You
I'm
good.
on the road. Yeah.
I told him you moving in and out. You good, bro. You good. You good, bro. Preach.
Bro, yeah. You know. Yeah, just wanted you know what I'm saying, to really, you know what I'm saying, tap in with you in the chat, you know what I'm saying, for all those, you know what I'm saying, who have, you know, supported my, you know what I'm saying, return to society. You know, I salute you, I appreciate you, you know what I mean, in the form of the chat, in the form of those who come to Vertical Talk to listen and hear what I got to say and offer. You know what I mean? It's big. It's, you know what I mean? It's big, big living right now. You know what I mean? Word, enjoying the process.
But what made you get on YouTube? I mean, we ain't gonna keep you on. We gonna have another intense one, but that's the question you got to answer. Like, what made you get on YouTube? What made you, like you said, from the era, what made you? Because I didn't figure it out until one day. It was just simple as God said it. It was what God had in plan for me. It's therapeutic. It helped me through certain things, for real.
Not only that, bro, you dig, like, you know, for real, man, I say this shit wholeheartedly, bro. Like, my life in many different aspects have been a disservice to, you know, the community in which I was brought up in, and communities outside of Brooklyn, New York, in which I was raised in. So, you know, and who I am and who I once was when it came to gang life, when it came to just street life, you know, it affected a lot of individuals negatively. And it might have even affected, you know, newer generations. Because just like when I was coming up, I wanted to emulate past generations of individuals who I felt just kept it gully. You dig? So and in that sequence of life, you know, there's young brothers or sisters that may not have made it through. There's young brothers and sisters that's languishing in prison with 100 years, unlike I had. So, you know, now it's like, yo, damn, if I could just let one know that, yo, playboy or homegirl, you know, think better and you'll do better. You dig? Like, you know, dissect the ingredients and some of the individuals you're around by just sitting back and paying attention to make sure that they're really who they say they are. And even if they are who they say they are in that thug life aspect, you might want to choose a different route and get away from them, because what's waiting for you, you may not be as blessed as I was to make it through it.
Mm, mm. That was deep. That's real. That's right. Like my grandmother said, just because you're somebody's friend don't mean they're yours.
Absolutely, man. And you know what I see now is a lot of bozos using vulnerable individuals who just want to be accepted. You know, you got a lot of, you know, me and my son, you call them old goofies. They think they OGs, but they old goofies.
It's a
Because a
fact.
lot of the things that they're, you know, they put in, you know, the little homies or the little sisters to do, they ain't never did they self. They was never on the front line. When they come through the system, you dig what I'm saying? They quiet, they soft, they probably getting robbed, and but you know, the little brother, they get back out in the street and they acting, you know, like they was tough guys, and they acting like they was really about that life, and so forth and so on. And this ain't to glamorize or glorify the fact that this was a lifestyle that I lived, but it's
Talk.
just to say, you know, I never pushed the individual to do anything that I wasn't doing myself in them streets. You dig? I never took a dude boosted. I never took a dude to hit a jewelry store. I never took a dude on a robbery. I never took a dude to snatch a diamond, hit a pocket, whatever it was, sell drugs. I was on the front line doing it myself, you dig?
Facts.
So at the end of the day, it was like, you know, I led by that negative example, but nonetheless, I led by example. I was a vanguard, you dig what I'm saying? So, you know, when it came to the individuals that rocked with me, they rocked with me because they felt comfortable knowing that, guess what? I know you ain't gonna just allow somebody to come and do something to me crazy. I
That's
know
right.
that if I get caught up, you dig, we getting caught up together, or if I don't, you gonna send a little bread for me. You gonna put it on my canteen. If you got it, we got it, you gonna make sure that, you know what I'm saying, my people's got it too, you know what I'm saying, bail me out or whatever the case may be. You know, it was, don't get it twisted like we didn't lie. We all lied, you dig, to some degree.
Everybody.
But most of my lies was to them judges and the police, you heard? It wasn't till my comrades. You know what I mean? And you know,
Mm,
and don't, not to say that, you know, white lies wasn't taken or whatever the case may be, but ain't nobody could say that FB left from hanging, my dude. You dig what I'm saying? In
that's right.
life, in the lifestyle that I live, you dig? Like FB was right there, you dig? If I came out that store and you got held up in that store, whether it be a jewelry store, whatever, I'm coming back in there to get you.
That's a fact.
That's a whole fact.
That's a
I'm coming
fact.
out there to get you. You dig? You coming home with me. You dig? I'm not going home and tell your moms that, yo, you got snatched up and I kept running. Nah, I ain't do that. You dig? I
Mm.
ain't do that in prison. You dig? I ain't do that in the street. You know, so that, you know, that's just the code that I live by. You dig what I'm saying? And you know, that's just it, you know. And like I said, it's not to glorify, but you know, our young brothers and sisters, they're not getting that kind of love or loyalty in these days and times. So, you know, YouTube
Mm.
is one of the ways that I believe that maybe I could get the word to them, and hopefully something that I say would resonate with them in order to, you know, if even for a second, change their mentality or make them think a little bit deeper about the things that they may be convicting themselves to doing with dudes that aren't going to convict themselves to supporting if, God forbid, the ultimate happen, whether it be, you know, you being in ICU or them having to pay for your funeral costs, or let's just say you going to prison and them making sure that your girl, you know, your mom's getting some kind of bread to, you know, support you while you in those walls.
Mm. Mm. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, that's what we leaving them at. Into the part 2. We ain't even giving them no more. That's a fact. That's what we needed. Shout out to Frank Boo for pulling up, y'all. Shout out to Frank Boo for pulling
Shout
up.
out
I
to
needed
the
that also. That's just the part 1. Because we're going to let you enjoy your family tonight. I'm ending this live. The minute you get out of here, we getting out of here. I want you to enjoy your family, and congratulations on your promotion, beloved.
Yeah, man, likewise. I mean, thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's always, you know what I'm saying, a blessing, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's now a blessing to, you know what I'm saying, be able to align with, you know, brothers and sisters who, you know, actually, you know what I'm saying, are not only willing, but, you know what I'm saying, able to compliment, you know what I'm saying, brothers of my caliber that's coming home from these, you know what I'm saying, these man-made plantations. You know, so yeah, man, to everybody that, you know what I mean, joined in on the chat, man, I salute y'all, man. Hopefully I've said something that has resonated within y'all that will hopefully, you know what I'm saying, make y'all more conscious about the decisions y'all make, or maybe your sons and daughters or nieces or nephews, you know, and if I haven't and you find fault in something that I say, you know what I'm saying, you know, don't charge it to my heart, man. You know, charge it to me because I'm still human and I'm imperfect. You dig what I'm saying? But I mean well. You dig in this day and time. You know what I mean? So with that being said, yo, Dice, until the next one, man. I salute you, King.
I
Keep doing
salute
what
you,
you
General,
doing.
for real.
Yeah,
Enjoy
keep
your
pushing.
family, son.
Absolutely, without a question.
Peace.
Peace.
Yo, I'm ending it right now. That's all we needed to hear. Shout out to FB for pulling up. Childhood friend, comrade. I'm telling y'all, that's just part 1. He out enjoying his family, and congratulations. That's more of that's the great validation I like. That's the type of validation I like. They got the validation where, yo, you did something wrong, or we did something to survive. We got to appreciate it. No, this is the type of validation I need around me. I told y'all, start surrounding it, like he said, surround yourself with people that's doing things that's not going to get them in a situation where they might be taken away from their family, or you may be around them, unfortunately, and something that has nothing to do with you, you may get caught up in. Like he said, he ain't judging nobody. You can't judge nobody, but you do have the right to make the best decision for you and your family. Shout out to the lowlifes. Shout out to all my DCEP comrades, the ones that really made it in the street. Shout out to Chip and everybody that pulled up. Y'all already know. Drop them links in the chat. This is just part 1 of a conversation with FB. Salute.
Another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Man, woman, and children. Sun, moon, and stars. Everything exists has to coexist with it. Like I said, another day alive, another day free. Why would I wake up trying to be somebody other than me?